Hello, it's me here, and in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the sideways planet, Uranus. Let's get started. First of all, where is Uranus? Well, it's the 7th planet from the Sun. The 6th, if you don't count Pluto. It's the 3rd largest planet in our solar system by diameter, being only slightly smaller than Neptune and about 4 times wider than Earth. What does Uranus look like? Well, it has a distinct blue-green color, which comes from the presence of methane gas in its atmosphere. Methane absorbs red light and reflects blue and green, giving the planet its iconic hue. One of the most remarkable things about Uranus is its extreme axial tilt, nearly 98 degrees out of plane. This means that as it orbits the Sun, it almost always appears to be rolling around the Sun with its poles pointing towards the Sun for 42 years at a time. Then, of course, it has these really extreme seasons because of the tilt. Each pole experiences 42 years of continuous sunlight, followed by 42 years of darkness. Another interesting fact about Uranus is that it rotates in a retrograde or opposite direction compared to most other planets in the solar system. This means that if you were standing on the planet and looking up into space, the Sun would appear to rise in the west and set in the east. We're not exactly sure why Uranus rotates on its side and backwards like this, but one of the leading theories is that something huge has crashed into the planet in the past. Now, let's take a look inside Uranus. It's not quite as simple as your classic rock, paper, scissors. Instead, it's mostly composed of so-called icy materials. Again, water, methane, and ammonia, all in a hot, dense fluid state above a small, rocky core. This makes Uranus and Neptune known as ice giants. In contrast, the largest planet, Jupiter, and the second largest, Saturn, are mostly hydrogen and helium, like the Sun. Uranus has more than twice the mass of these lighter elements than Jupiter. And because of that, it has a much larger proportion of these heavier ices, okay? Now, just like the other giant planets, Uranus has no solid surface. It's just a gradual decrease in density as you go higher and higher above the core. If you were to jump onto Uranus, you would simply sink through its atmosphere until you've reached the core. Speaking of atmosphere, it's predominantly hydrogen and helium, like the other gas giants, but with a lot more methane. In fact, it has the 2nd largest amount of methane in our solar system, second only to Jupiter. Because of the methane, Uranus is a very cold place. Its temperatures in some parts of the planet reach as low as -224.2 degrees Celsius, or -371.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Uranus is also a very windy place. Tides can reach up to 900 kilometers per hour, or 560 miles per hour. Next, let's look at the rings of Uranus. It has a system of 13 faint rings, high, intermediate in complexity, halfway between the more extensive set around Saturn and the simpler rings found around Jupiter and Neptune. Most of the rings are opaque and only a few miles wide. Now, speaking of moons, Uranus has 28 known moons. The 5 major moons are Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. All of the names of Uranus's moons come from characters in the works of William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Finally, when was Uranus discovered? Well, it was discovered in 1781 by astronomer William Herschel. He was the first person to observe the planet using a telescope. So far, only one spacecraft has flown by Uranus. NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft did indeed make its closest approach to Uranus in January 1986. It was the first and, to date, only spacecraft to visit the ice giant. During its flyby, Voyager 2 provided us with invaluable data and the first ever close-up images of Uranus, its rings, and many of its moons, revolutionizing our understanding of this distant and unique planet. While there is significant scientific interest in Uranus, and there are proposals for future missions to the ice giant, like the Uranus Orbiter and Probe, which has been identified as a high-priority flagship mission by the planetary science community. That's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.